Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think of this ain't no game. You know what I'm saying? What? It's time. Yep, yep. Time to make the change. Here we go. We are the people who can do it. Oh yeah. It's time. Time to make the change. We are his people. We can do it. Come on, kick it for me one time.
What is the world coming to? Seems like everyone is running from the truth. We need to stand up and fight, walk into the light. Somebody ask me, why do we have to go through it? It's just a test of our faith, but we're living day to day. We don't know where, we don't know when, but he's coming back again.
About that time.
Church here at 1723 East 3rd Street. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and remove my mask, brothers. Y'all can do so as well. We're in a safe environment. Praise the Lord. We wanted to let everybody know that we are practicing social distancing so y'all don't get too close. And, if you feel a sneeze coming on, run in the other direction. We appreciate y'all joining us tonight, and I told you we will possibly do a part 2 of what we call pastoring in a pandemic. Pastoring in a pandemic. It's a tough task for us, and we got some special guests here that's going to join me, and we're going to talk this through. But before we get there, I just want to make a few announcements. A lot of things going on. Let me first thank the members of Macedonia. Appreciate y'all for holding us up through this time of social distancing, and as we are dealing with this virus and the want to, if you're listening and not a member of Macedonia, members of Macedonia, you already know your obligation. You can give. It's, again, going across the screen there, Givelify, givelify.com. Now, make sure to get the right Macedonia, because there's 3 in there you'll see in the Little Rock area. And get the one that says Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church. The address is 1723 East 3rd. And look for my name, Reverend Clarence Thornton, because if your money go to some other churches, then, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So we want to make sure that you're giving in the right place and that you're receiving the proper blessings. So thank you so much for members of Macedonia. You have been a jewel through this tough time. A lot of pastors, and we'll talk about it later, but a lot of pastors were concerned that the offering would drop and we would have crisis financially. But I'm finding that a lot of you are being faithful. So thank you for that, and we certainly appreciate you. Don't forget now, you can join us on Saturdays from 12 noon until 1 to come by if you want to bring your offering to the church. We'll be here waiting on that. And on Wednesdays from 5 to 6. But we're live here tonight talking about pastoring in a pandemic. Joining me to my left, your right, is a good friend of mine from the Mount Zion Baptist Church here in Little Rock, Pastor John Smith. Just sounds like, like John Smith, really, just real common and stuff. So he's a friend of mine. Thank you for joining us, Pastor. We appreciate it.
God bless you, Reverend, for inviting me to come.
Okay, all right. And be nice tonight, all right? And joining us also is pastor of Miles Memorial CME Church here in the East End of Little Rock, is Pastor Richard Johnson. Pastor, good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Reverend Thornton, for having us a part of this platform. We're grateful. Thank you.
Man, we appreciate you. Y'all bring your chairs on around here so we can have a discussion. What I first want to start with is the pandemic hit, and it really, I think it got to us as church leaders. The restrictions came somewhere in March, somewhere in there. What was that like when you got the news, and how long did y'all meet after? Well, how long, or are you still meeting, or Mount Zion?
When I got the news, Reverend, I am a chief chaplain for Kindred Hospice, so I got the news dealing with the CDC
Okay.
about 2 weeks before everybody started talking about
All
it.
right. All right.
I knew something was going to be done about church. My church, though, as the citywide or even statewide, nationwide understanding of COVID-19 happened, I believe we got it on March the 20th, on March the 8th.
All right.
And we had to immediately cancel those
Okay.
meetings because of COVID-19. And so we immediately stopped. We began to meet immediately online through link, well not link, with which I had my associate pastors do, and they're still doing that.
All right.
And then we just did the worship service. It was a modified service, scripture, prayer, had song,
Right.
a professional
Yeah. Yeah.
do it,
Yeah.
know.
Recorded music.
Yeah, record. I said professional.
You're
Reverend.
right. Because I
I said professional.
Now I
Reverend.
asked you to be
I
nice.
said professional. Reverend.
Okay.
I said it was
All
time for a
right.
professional.
All right.
So,
All right.
because you don't have to depend on people,
Yeah.
and you don't have to put them in exposure.
Right.
That's
right.
the point behind it. And so we've been meeting like that.
Was the transition difficult for you? Did it give you the uneasiness that it gave me when they first made the announcement? Because I went, and of course I wasn't panicking, but I was like, how is this going to look? What are we going to do? How is this going to show up?
Made me happy. Because, that sounds a little odd, but it
Well,
made me
it's-
happy.
it's-
My soul got happy.
I'm not,
Because I'm a person who loves to try to figure out a new way to do it.
okay.
And so I didn't look at it as the devil trying to get us
Right.
and destroy the church. Actually, the issue of money never even came up in my mind. I mean, it never.
Never.
And still to this day, it has.
Oh,
not,
right,
Reverend.
right.
It just never
Yeah.
has been on my radar. I feel like wherever God leads in ministry, but a good thing.
Okay.
Now we get a chance to see how to do ministry in a different context. And so what I did, Reverend, I said, well, let me talk to a couple of people that I knew in Dallas and
Okay.
stuff. And they got to talking to me about boosting on Facebook.
All right.
Now, Reverend, my Wednesday night Bible study was about 15 people.
Okay. All right.
When I started paying,
You're doing real good then.
yeah, $4 a week.
Yeah.
I went from 15 people, and you could see it if somebody was even look on our Facebook page. I went from 15 people on Wednesday night to 37,000 people
37,000. 37,000. Okay. All
during
right.
the course of 1 week.
All right. All right. Well.
And Reverend, I just kept doing it.
Okay.
And then I decided to just stop,
All right.
and I abruptly stopped. And as soon as I stopped the booze, the numbers, they didn't
Right.
go back down to like 10, 15. They stayed around 300-400.
Okay.
And so I utilize that. I know that even now, when we do this tonight, as far as at Mount Zion, if I pay for the boost, and I had people from all over the world that was watching.
Right. I'm gonna leave you alone for a minute here. Pastor Johnson, how you got the news that we can know? I think they never shut the church down. I mean, they never did that. But the governor suggested that 10 or more people don't gather, and I think he even dropped it to 5 or more. So how, when you got the news, was it a major adjustment for you, or did it give you an uneasiness? How was that for you?
Well, actually, when I got the news, we were looking at, I think, the number of gathering of somewhere around 200.
Okay.
And at that moment, I said, well, that's not going to affect me.
Okay. Yeah, right.
I was hoping,
Yeah.
I was wishing, but
Yeah.
200, I was in good company.
Yeah.
In my mind that perhaps I was already looking in my mind around 100, 150 people. my number being 50 to 70.
Okay,
Let's be clear
gotcha.
about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
A group of people
Yeah.
and making sure of their safety and their health challenges to make sure that I was not exposing them closed. And like you all have expressed, God has certainly blessed through the traditional teaching of tithing, and we'll have a sanctuary to go back into.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the same
Okay. So what I'm hearing from you is it wasn't a major transition.
team. Now I
Meaning?
was challenged because I'm a little aged, and I had to get with the technology
Yeah,
called
yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but I am comfortable with using Zoom, and certainly, like my brother, it has increased the numbers.
Okay.
I have not opened up. It has also challenged our theology, and like my brother said, it's challenged us to reach and to rethink how we do ministry.
That's where I want to go next. I want to go to, since this pandemic, has it changed your preaching? Has it changed your preaching? Let me start with Pastor.
Well,
So
so this is what we do, Reverend. There are times where I am the preacher on Sunday morning.
okay,
I am the preacher, and I preach sitting down.
all right,
Okay. But most of the time now, I do it in a setting with anywhere from 2 to 5 of my associate pastors,
okay,
where I guide the topic. Now, we talk about it, and we have teaching in there with a little bit of preach.
okay,
And what I've done, Reverend, is, in a sense, taken the opportunity to talk about subject matter that I would have never talked about.
okay,
And for instance, like right now, we're dealing with natural law as it relates to the goodness of mankind.
you know what?
But it's given me opportunity to be able to explain that
Yeah,
in a context where people don't feel like maybe I'm talking down
okay,
to them.
all right,
And it's been well received
all right,
by the masses.
Okay.
And I'm assuming because the masses are receiving it,
okay,
that evidently my church is also
Okay.
receiving it. So it's given me opportunity to utilize some brain cells
okay,
that and I'm not saying in a derogatory manner,
Yeah.
that I wouldn't have used in a traditional church setting for fear that others would not have received
Right.
a more intellectual message.
I got you.
That's,
I got
you
you.
know,
Okay.
so
Has the pandemic changed your preaching?
I've always certainly attempted to structure I think that's so important. So what I think has changed more about my preaching has been the structuring of it,
Okay, okay,
and perhaps the delivery of the message. There, I don't own the right, but I think it's also forced us
yeah,
really to, and like my brother have said, when you're in this type of setting, it's not about, everybody raise your hand.
yeah, lift your hands. Come
And
on,
I won't
come on.
deal with that theology. Those who are wounded, and that God is certainly the same God yesterday. And in a nutshell, it must remain holistic, and certainly the spiritual needs of those that are going through right now.
All right. Reverend, what would you say?
priority of the church is still evangelism, still discipleship. Now, I do know that during this pandemic, the church, in the generic sense,
Yeah,
we were caught off guard with how do we do evangelism, how do we do discipleship.
right.
But because of a multiplicity of connections that I have a buddy, his church actually developed a discipleship app
Okay,
in North Carolina.
discipleship app.
Real time, what they participated in, it's a phenomenal app. I'll let you know
Yeah,
what that app
you
is.
got to get it to me.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, and it's free.
Okay.
This church spent $400,000 to develop the app,
Lord
and
Jesus.
now they give it away free.
Lord have mercy.
That's one of my friends, Reverend,
Yeah.
that I went to school with,
Yeah,
Reverend,
yeah.
you know. So he let me in on it. Also, what I did, I went to a major conference that I'm a part of, and it just so happens immediately before the pandemic hit, which we knew was coming, I flew to Orlando, and I was in this conference with about 25,000 people,
Okay.
and we discussed in a big way with major hitters in the church development, church planting, all of these things. How are we going to change up as Corona comes?
Right.
And like I say, the mandate is still evangelism, discipleship. So I believe that even in an online context, as a matter of fact, it's kind of funny you asked this. I was telling Mount Zion, I said, the mandate for the church hadn't changed. It's still
Right.
evangelism, discipleship. And so I had a deacon say, well, Pastor, that's easy to say. But how can we?
Yeah.
How do you do community online? And they said, oh.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, so I'm not saying something that I hadn't thought through.
Right.
And this is stuff like I have a friend who pastors in Edmond, Oklahoma, and they took their services online, and in 1 week, this is about 3 weeks ago, they had 16,000 professions of faith.
My God.
1 week,
Wow. Wow.
and so they're doing follow up, and that's another thing. There's ways that churches can do follow up
Follow up. Yeah.
online
Online. Right.
without even thinking about it. It's called drip services.
Okay.
The one that I promote is Constant Contact.
Constant contact.
So when someone visits your website or visits your Facebook, Constant Contact will grab their email, grab their contact
and
information,
put it into a database.
put it into a database, and then you already have in that database your welcome, your message from the pastor. You can have 15, 20 different things, and you can schedule them out. When the person comes, 3 days after they come, 6 days after they come, 20 days after they come, they automatically shoot this to
Certainly have to embrace, a little easier for me to embrace technology. Said, well, Reverend, we ain't got that kind of church. We got some old folk, and I'm like, well, I don't care if they're not. Get them there. That's why you're there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Embrace the technology,
Absolutely.
so that because we live in, whether you like it or what. Really,
One of my faithful followers
Uh-huh.
is 88,
Yeah.
might be 89
Okay.
years old. He's on Zoom.
Yeah.
He's on Facebook.
Yeah.
He's telling me, Red, you need to watch so and so. So we, like you said,
Yeah.
must, if they're not there,
We got to embrace the technology.
bring them there, and we
Okay.
must embrace
Absolutely.
technology.
Let me ask this because the question now is going back. That's what everybody's struggling with now. When, how, what is it going to look like going back into service? Have you guys discussed your next step as to when you're going back? And have you thought about it? How's that looking for you guys?
I certainly have thought about it. I believe in science,
Okay.
and I do understand testing and how it increases and decreases in all of their plans. But I'm looking at numbers. I'm hoping for the first Sunday in June, if possible. And that's not to expose my people. That's still to look at numbers. But I'm also looking at an internal cleaning of my church, having a professional services to come in.
I got somebody I want to recommend. But go ahead.
And do some of the necessary things that we need to have in place to ensure our people that they are safe until we are insured within
Okay.
our
So,
health system.
with that being said, have you set a date? You kind of got in your mind of when you're thinking you might want to maybe in the next 30 days, next month, June 1.
June 1 or the first Sunday in June is the projected date if the data supports it.
Okay. See, both of y'all work in the health profession.
and I'm a chaplain.
Okay. Well, praise the Lord. And then you work.
This is wild.
Yeah.
I'm a nurse. I work for the
Data driven for this.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Connections with CDC.
Okay.
Who gets Corona now, COVID-19 now? the numbers that we're seeing on TV that Governor Asa Hutchinson is giving is 6 weeks behind.
Be nice.
I am.
Okay, all right, all right. It's 6 weeks.
Well, he
behind.
knows me though, and he
I
knows
get it.
I'll say what I.
Yeah, I know him too. So
Yeah. He knows. He knows.
I
But
don't want
yeah.
him to shut my church down.
He won't do it, man.
He
His
won't-
wife won't let him do it. Yeah,
do something to him.
yeah. So the numbers that we're seeing on a daily basis are about 6 weeks behind.
Okay.
And I also know at the health department.
Why is that? Why is it 6 weeks behind?
Okay, you contract COVID-19, and it's going to take 4 to 5 days for it to be detectable.
Detectable. Okay.
Okay, and after they work for the health department, I got an inside thing. The health department right now is about 3 weeks
Okay.
behind testing.
Testing. Wow.
So the people that they're putting out today are people that were 3 to 4 weeks
Tested
ago
back.
tested
Okay.
back,
Wow.
in the past, and so we don't have an accurate. I know we want to say we do, but we don't have an accurate count of the transmission. Now, I work in St. Francis County, where I work.
All part of the correctional system.
No.
You will have a number of 72 reported, but only 16
community. The COVID-19 virus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the public really is not.
Right. That's the date I've been kicking around, kind of like August somewhere in there. But I don't know.
I'm glad we're having this discussion. I respect you, my brother.
Yeah, I respect you too.
I certainly.
Really?
And particularly our profession.
Y'all meet each other, so I
Yeah.
all right.
Thank you
Yeah.
for filling me in. And of course, I'm glad you can speak on behalf.
Yeah.
Be nice now. Just
Yeah,
you know.
I'm trying to be a nice
All
man.
right.
You know, I'm trying.
So
And perhaps maybe some things I
okay.
perhaps are not at liberty
Y'all get each
to.
other's number, and y'all talk later on. Here's the deal. So you what has to happen? Data. What does the data look like that would make you comfortable for?
Well, what's going to happen?
And then what does church look like once you come back together?
Okay.
Are y'all?
Very quick. I'm
okay.
gonna be
Come on.
60 seconds.
All right.
So what has to happen for me to be comfortable is we have to get started on the second outbreak. I'm not comfortable. I have a master's in cellular biology.
Okay.
I'm not comfortable until the second round hits. See, everybody's talking about this.
Yeah, but that's not gonna hit till probably fall or winter.
No, it's the stuff that's going to be reported in the fall is going to be 6 weeks
Behind.
behind.
Lord Jesus.
So what people are talking about, the numbers, like for instance, like they're saying, well, right now we're kind of open as a state.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that means that the numbers that they're reporting are 6 weeks in the past.
Right.
We have yet 6 weeks.
Right.
To go.
before we
Before we
see
know.
what's happening right now.
And if St. Francis County,
Wow.
what is it going to look like
Yeah.
when the health department catches up?
Lord Jesus. All right.
So what it looks like, church, when the pandemic is, I think the pandemic will be over, but it'll still have hanger-on type- residual effects.
Yeah.
And so I don't think church will ever go back to like it was, ever.
My God.
And so I think churches who don't adapt, even large ministries, will no longer be large.
So it'll never go back. What is it going to look like? Are we going to have every other?
From this point on,
pew-
Reverend, your major congregation, your major contributors will not be sitting in the pew.
My God. Online.
They're going to be online. They've in Arkansas who come to Macedonia. People in Macedonia won't even be giving like the folk who give online.
My God.
You know, I know some churches who their giving. I know a lot of churches whose giving has shot up out of the roof.
Yeah.
And it's not from the people that
Right.
attended their church.
And that's the amazing thing. And I think was it you and I talked about that earlier today.
Absolutely.
How a lot of us pastors, especially those of us who had small churches, were concerned. Not in a panic, but concerned that, oh, Lord Jesus, what are we going to do about an offering?
How would the economic look
Yeah,
like in our
what
churches?
what is it going? And so, how did that change for you guys?
Use that term, but it still works.
Okay, all right.
Not to be put off anything. The reason why at my church I really don't worry about what Sunday offering look like.
Right.
We got old money. Right? We don't talk about it. We got old money. Right?
Praise your heart.
Yeah, we got
Bless
old,
your brother.
Yeah, we got old money, and I pass the cheap folk. Reverend.
Yeah.
I pass the cheap folk. They ain't gonna spend no money. So when we talk
Reverend,
about a financial
Reverend,
crunch,
you online.
I know. I know. They
Okay.
used to me. Reverend.
Okay.
They may not like it, but
Oh,
they used to.
But they used to.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All
And
right.
so,
All right.
so when we talk about a financial crunch, we're not talking about the hundreds of thousands of dollars that we have in CDs and
Yeah,
savings and all that. We're talking about. We're not talking about the hundreds of thousands in checking. We're talking about we didn't get X amount. We didn't get X amount, right? If truthfully, if we wanted to exist without offerings, to pay all the bills that we have as a church, we could easily exist 3-4 years.
Wow.
And so that's why now do my trustees and finance committee get, oh yeah, they get all out of sorts, but they know what's in the bank. I know what's in the bank, and I'm like, quit talking to me about money.
Yeah. Right.
Talk to me about ministry.
About ministry. There we go.
Amen.
There we go.
Amen.
So the church will not be the same in the sanctuary. We're gonna, when we come back, we're gonna be wearing gloves and face masks and.
I think we're gonna have to wear masks.
Okay.
I want to interject.
Yeah, go ahead.
Until our people are educated about wearing gloves, they don't need to wear gloves. I mean, point blank.
Well, okay.
I mean, you put on your gloves and you get out of your car and you go shopping and you get back in your car with the same gloves you got out of your car with.
Yeah.
And
Well,
listen,
now-
while we're talking about this, let's all talk about hand sanitizer.
Well, okay, wait.
We
before you
walk
go there.
around
Hold on,
all day long.
Hold on. Cause see, here's what I do when I go. Like I went yesterday. Went to the ATM and I got some gas. I put on one glove, and did the ATM with the glove. Did the gas. Took the glove off. I thought I was being, over. But I took the glove off before I got back in the car. I took the glove off and put it in the trash. And then I don't bring it back in the car with me. So
That's good
so
practice. That's acceptable
But you got to
practice.
take it off a certain way too, Reverend.
And I think you did go up under your-
That's how you got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you go up under,
Yeah.
and then you pull it out.
Yes, that's
like
how
that,
you do it.
Yeah.
so that the fingers go inside.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I know all of that, and I don't know where I learned
And
that
as
from.
soon as you take your gloves off, now it's time to wash
Wash
your
your
hands.
hands.
Wash your hand. Nah, I ain't done that.
And let's talk
now,
about
so
washing.
to sanitize, you was gonna get that.
Well, this is part
Yeah.
of the washing your hands.
Cause I'm about to run y'all out of here, cause y'all.
Hand sanitizer is only good for about 3 applications,
Yes.
maybe.
Yes.
After 3 applications, you need to go and wash
Wash your
your
hands.
hands with some soap.
And water.
And water. All right.
In nursing, they used to say, back in the 1800s when there was really a pandemic because of surgeries and stuff.
Yeah.
They said, for God's sake, men and women, wash your
Your
hands. That's the whole thing. Wash
wash.
your hands. People think that's, I make my own sanitizer, Reverend.
This man got a degree in cellular.
Yeah, but because I don't.
You do-
That's 70%. I do 95%.
95% that you
And I make it at the house.
you
Reverend.
that's moonshine, Reverend. What is you doing?
Reverend, I go to the
have
liquor
mercy.
store, Reverend,
There it is. All right, so.
Some absolute.
All right, so
Everclear.
somebody says sprayed. She walked up. She said, come here, and she sprayed on my hand. She said, now smell it. I said, smell like alcohol. She said, alcohol or alcohol? I said, alcohol. she said, it's Everclear. I said, oh, what?
Yeah, Reverend.
It's same thing.
I got a whole stash of it, Reverend. So I
Well,
go
we're gonna
to,
leave that right there.
so I go to the store. I buy aloe vera plant.
Okay.
That's in the supermarkets.
All right.
And I get it. I bring home. I cut it open. All of the aloe vera that's inside, I take it out, and I put 2 parts of that for 1 part Everclear.
Okay.
I put it in the blender. We drop essential oils in there, like the orange, citrus, And we have bottles and stuff. Right now I probably got 5 gallons. Of
Well, I'm gonna need a little bit of that. I'm gonna need. You got some with you? You ain't got nothing with you, do you?
No, I ain't got nothing.
Praise the
I got
Lord.
some in the car, but I use that.
Listen, so we.
My sanitizer, you can eat it and drink it, Reverend.
Lord have mercy. So we coming back, and what are you saying to your people as it relates to this opening or relaxing of
My
rules?
people stay at home.
Okay.
We're gonna
Stay at home.
we gonna let everybody do it.
Just because the states are open does not mean the virus is gone.
Okay.
It is still out there, and it is not a myth.
Okay.
it's not.
How do we? So here's because I had a pastor call me today on the radio, and his question was, while we're waiting, what are we going to do? In other words, he was trying. Well, what he was trying to get around to was saying, how do we know when on the information that's scrolling across the screen right now? You can do that as well. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. God bless you. God keep you. We hope and pray something was said or done that has increased your walk with Christ. God bless you.
I don't even care, no, 'cause I know that God's got something better for me. I don't even care. Yeah. I don't even care. I don't even care. God's got something better. I know that it's hard during this trial, and it seems it's gonna get the best of you, but you gotta hold on and be strong and know that God's got something